Hey guys, it's Baden here. Wanted to make a video about this whole situation with AFL and the coronavirus cancelling the AFLW and suspending the AFL in general. Now it's a crazy time we're living in. That's probably the first thing I should say heading into this video, because we're living in a time where we have now had the government put in place steps and rules to protect the general well-being of the public, and you know this is a crazy time. It's a very, very crazy time. Now, getting into the whole situation with the AFL and AFLW. Okay guys, so I've got mixed emotions on this because I know they need to suspend. I know they need to suspend the season, without a doubt. That's probably the easiest thing one would know. But I'm a little bit disappointed in some of the AFL's decisions. We played an entire AFLW season, almost. We got up to about round 6 or 7, and we played 7 games for the women in the entire season. Now, after playing about 7 games, the AFL decided to make a decision to cancel the AFLW season, and therefore concluding with no premiership winner and no result for the women and all the hard work they did all season long. We then get to round 1, AFL, the men's season. The men play all of their round 1 games, and at the end of round 1 they decide, okay, we're going to suspend the male season until later on in the year, and they only play 1 round, and they get to have their season suspended until a later date. The women play 6 rounds and 1 round of finals, and they get told, sorry, can't be done, got to cancel you. Guys, I do not want to be that fan that says this is a sexist decision, but it surely damn feels like it. I'm a male myself. I have a lot of respect for the women in the AFLW. I absolutely loved their season. I barracked all the way along. I am a Freo supporter, so I backed my Freo women. They had an undefeated season, 7-0. Every single round of the regular season and in finals, they are undefeated, not 1 loss on the record. Now, there's a petition going around saying that Fremantle Dockers should be awarded the 2020 Premiers. I can see why people would do that, and at some point I could agree, but there is another half of me that knows that isn't entirely the right decision, and that's not the solution to the problem we have here. We have a huge problem at hand, and it's something that needs addressing, and it needs addressing as soon as possible, because if we don't address it, we're going to go through life with the same problems, okay? Now, there used to be a time where women and men weren't on an equal playing field, and that's true. Look back in history, there was a time where women couldn't even play sports. They weren't allowed to. And then, eventually, over time, we integrated women into sport, and they fought their way in. They fought hard, and they made their way into sports. And I think rightfully so, because they have just as much amount to offer in sports as the men do. And I found that every single round of the AFLW, there was something great to offer. There was something that they gave to us fans that we could all enjoy. That's definitely the truth. Now, for AFL and Gillum McLaughlin to come along at the end of, basically the end of the season, and when finals had begun, to say, okay, we're gonna play a couple games, we're gonna decide who the winner is for the last 4 teams of each conference on the ladder, on the top of the ladder. To give those girls hope and then take it away is that's not right to me. That's very deflating for the teams, the clubs, the fans, and everyone involved with this entire season that watched it from start to finish. I say this, okay? If you're going to cancel the women's season right at the end, you better cancel the males as well, because it's not fair to play one round for the males and say, okay, we're going to suspend you to a later date, and then play an entire female season, which they work hard for, and then say, okay, we're going to cancel you because what? Your league is disposable. We can just throw it away. It's not right. I don't want to be I don't want to be a white knight in shining armour. I don't want to be labelled a fighting feminist, because I'm surely not. But the problem is, like, how are we going to move forward as a society if we allow this stuff to happen? How are we going to progress with the future if we allow these decisions to get made? You know, I'm a male, so I love my male footy. I love my sport. I love my sport, but I just feel for everyone involved at the moment, and I am very emotionally invested in the outcome for the women involved in the sport. It's not just because my team performed very well all season. That is one factor. Yes, I'll admit it's one factor. They performed amazingly well, undefeated. But at the same time, every team that was given hope at the end there, when they said, okay, this virus isn't going to take away your hope. We're gonna have you top 4 teams of each conference that you're going to play off in the finals. Give those girls the hope you gave them, and let them play the rest of their finals later on, even if it takes another contract. I know people are saying their contract expired in April. I don't know where this come from, but people are saying that on Twitter and different websites, and amongst all the uproar from the fans. Give them their hope, give them their respect that they deserve. They played a hard season for your company, Gillon McLachlan, and they played hard games. They fought their hearts out, and I think they deserve that bit of respect, that you can give them at least 3 games. You can let them play 3 games. If you can let males, if you can let your male league, your AFL, if you can let them play 17 rounds and postpone an entire season later on, I do not see why you cannot play 3 games later on and sign new contracts. I know we're in a bit of a financial problem here, and I know you guys are under all the stress. I'm not even, as a fan, asking for my membership back. I'm not asking Fremantle for my membership back, and I live in Albany, 5 hours away from Perth. So I only get to see about 5 games a year. And, you know, I support my team, I love my team, I love my club. And I love the AFL, and I love the AFLW. So I just want to see these hard-working athletes get the respect and the accolades they deserve. You know, even if Fremantle lost in the finals later on, I do not care. You know, if it was North Melbourne winning, if it was Melbourne winning, I want to see an outcome for these females, because they damn well deserve it. And, you know, I'm going to do my bit as a fan to get this message out and to see, hopefully, an outcome for these girls. So if you guys can share this video and get it spread as much as you can, make some noise for these girls, because they damn well deserve it, and they deserve their finals. They deserve an outcome. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the supporters at home. So do your bit. Share the video. Let's see those last remaining teams fight it out and get their accolades later on in the year, because if you're gonna suspend the males, you damn well better suspend the women. Peace.
Obviously, the AFL announced that there's going to be no premiership awarded. Do you think that was the right decision?
Personally, no. And I've had this conversation with a number of people at AFL and throughout the Players Association. And, you know, we've dedicated many, many months to this season. You know, made a lot of sacrifices as players, obviously not just at Fremantle, as AFLW as a whole. And to not, you know, have a premier at the end of a season to be awarded, it feels like a bit of waste of time, to be honest. All those hard yards that you put in, and no one's been crowned the Premier.